So, Good Friday in the EFL was something else, but we have Easter Monday coming up, and it might be even more fire. Hi again, it's me. Today, we're doing my EFL Matchday Easter Monday predictions. Yeah, prototype really looked like a day, at least it's 5 success today, if you're gonna be nice. And make sure you subscribe, as we're trying to get ourselves up to 200 subs by the May Bank holiday. If we get that, we're doing 2 things gold. And yep, no messing around because we have a lot of ups and downs across the EFL, and here they are. We are heading into our first game in Easter Monday. Starts on 12 for the lunch kick off in League 2. Newport taking on Walsall now. Walsall is getting bad to worse to horrendous. But even though they've drawn 2-2 to Harrogate and scored the last goal in the game, Walsall's out of the top 3. You have to feel bad for them, even though at the start of the year they were 12 points clear of the top of second place. Now they're 3 points behind Port Vale, and you have to feel for them. But Newport haven't won in 6, and they draw 0-0 to MK Duns. But it'll be a very interesting game, really. But this could be the chance for Walsall to get their first dub in almost 2 months. I think they could get it, really. It's going to be very tight. I think a 1-0 win to Walsall for this one. And then into the big relegation clash or survival clash. Accrington taking Carlisle now in League 2, 3 o'clock kickoffs. Accrington won 2-1 against Salford on Good Friday, aka yesterday. And Carlisle beated Port Vale, top of the table, 3-2, even though they were once 3-0 up at one point. What a game that was, really, and what a scoreline it was for Carlisle. But yeah, very impressive for Carlisle. Could they make it 4 ends in a row and could send them be 1 point behind Tranmere? And yeah, it could be very interesting for Carlisle, really. But also the last one I met, it was like the final game of 2024 between them two, and Carlisle won 2-1. Could we see Carlisle putting off another double? I think they have a chance to pull off a double, even though Accrington faced off one relegation rival, Tranmere. They were 3-0 up and got tolerated by Tranmere 3 goals in 15 minutes in the final. But I have been that Carlisle could actually make it 4 ends in a row here. I think they could, in a 3-2 win to Carlisle for this one. But then heading into Morecambe take on Salford now. Morecambe has to be sad news, really, because 8 points in 3 games. Is it even possible for Morecambe between the final 3? Is it even possible? I don't think it is, because if they lose, they're relegated. Regardless of what 22nd gets, if they lose, they're relegated. But Salford lost 2-1 Accrington on Friday. But it will be a very interesting game to watch. But it will be emotional for Morecambe, but I think that Salford may actually get it done here. I really think a 2-1 win to Salford for this one. And then heading into Swindon on Bromley now. 12th against 13th. Swindon won 4 in a row. Could they make it 5 wins in a row? Haven't done that in almost a couple of years now, but this could be it for Swindon, as Bromley beat Morecambe 1-0 yesterday. But it'll be a very interesting game, really. This is probably the first time they're going against each other in County Ground, really. But I hope it'll be a very entertaining game, really. I think that Swindon may probably catch the dub. But I remember the last County Ground game, it had 9 goals. Swindon won 5-4. Could see an outcome here. But I have a feeling that Swindon may probably beat Bromley. Very tight. I think goals. 3-2 to Swindon for this one. But then heading into Port Vale taking Grimsby now. Yep, it's a good game to watch, really. Port Vale on Good Friday lost. No, both teams lost on Good Friday, so this will be a very interesting game. But I think that Port Vale may probably come back to this. But Grimsby will still be in the playoff race or be in charge of the playoffs. But I think that Port Vale may probably edge Grimsby here. I think a 2-1 win to Port Vale for this one. As in the Doncaster can Colchester now. That's a bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, can we tell you, Luke Molyneux had him on my fantasy team last game week. This week I dropped him because there was bigger fish in there to have. But he bagged a hat trick against Tranmere. I was robbed. I was clearly robbed. Why did he not warn me, Luke Molyneux, that you got to score a hat trick? 58 points he gotten in that fantasy team. Yeah, exactly. If you're wondering, yeah. But Colchester draw 0-0 to Crewe on Friday, pretty boring. And Doncaster won 3-0. Up to second, Luke Molyneux hat trick. If he does it again, I don't know what I'm going to do. but I will be in shock. But I have in Doncaster may probably run riot again. I really think Colchester will have a good fight. I think a 2-1 win to Doncaster for this one. We're then heading to Sheffield taking Bradford now. It will be a good game to watch, really. Last met, Bradford won 2-1 against Sheffield, and Bradford drawn 1-1. No wins in 2 for Bradford. And they had the best fan base in League 2, but will they bring that pressure in the Chesterfield on Monday? But if they do, it will be tight for Bradford. It will be tight for Bradford and Chesterfield, even though that Chesterfield draw 0-0. Both teams drawn on Good Friday and Thursday. But it will be very tight. I think there'll be goals here. 2-2 draw for this one. But then into League 1 now, at Blackpool taking Wrexham now. Yep, last night, it was on Boxing Day. It was a very foggy day at Wrexham when they played each other at Wrexham on Boxing Day 2024. But Wrexham drawn on Bristol Rovers. They have been taken out by Wycombe on yesterday to be down to third, and Wycombe have gone to overtake them. There'll be a very tight race between them and Wycombe. Maybe Charlton and Stockport tournament coming from nowhere. But for Blackpool, bagged a hat-trick. One player bagged a hat-trick on Friday, winning 3-1. But will he pull off a replay? But it will be a very good game to watch, really. Blackpool's been quite decent at home this season, and Wrexham's been quite... They scored like the lowest in the top 10 in a way, but it will be a very tight one, to be honest. I have a feeling it's going to be extremely tight. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, but it'll be extremely tight. And then the Crawley took an Exeter now. Crawley could be relegated after this game because I remember last time I met, Crawley were 4-1 up at Exeter at half time. Don't know what happened. Exeter pulled off 4-4. Don't know how that happened, but I imagine if Crawley was this close and they got relegated because of that, you got to feel for Crawley, really. You will feel bad for Crawley, but Crawley will be furious about that result if that haunts them for this game. But it will be a very good game to watch, really. I think that Crawley may probably get something out of Exeter for this one, for sure. I think they'll hold it throughout the second half. In a 2-1 win to Crawley for this one, I think Crawley will survive another day of getting a relegation announced. But then the Burton thing on Birmingham now. Yeah, Birmingham lost to... Yeah, Birmingham draw 0 to Exeter to relegate Shrewsbury on Good Friday. They started early, because I don't know why, but I think they felt like it. But yeah, it will be a good game to watch, really. Birmingham draw 0, Burton's draw 0 on Good Friday, but it will be a very interesting game to watch, really. I think that Birmingham will win here. I really think a 3-1 win to Birmingham for this one. As in the Stockport and Huddersfield now. Both teams came on 2 separate divisions last season, and Stockport might be going up to the Championship. Huddersfield will be staying in League 1 for another season. Huddersfield has been quite shocking recently. They lost 2-1 to Cambridge on Friday. That is kind of embarrassing, really. But then for Stockport, equalised very late. Diamond equalised against Peterborough on Good Friday. But I have a feeling Huddersfield will get destroyed again here. I really think that Stockport will run riot and guarantee a playoff spot. I think a 3-0 win to Stockport for this one. As in the Wycombe taking Charlton now. It's second against fourth. Yeah, it is second against fourth, and it will be a very tasty game to watch, really. It might be the game I might watch on Sky Sports Plus, but who knows, really. Wycombe won 1-0 against Bolton on Good Friday, and for Charlton won 2-1 against Northampton. So it'll be a very good game to watch, really. If Charlton wins, it pulls it interesting, but if Wycombe win, they will be one step closer to the Championship in their second time ever. But I have a feeling the wild card will turn over. Charlton may probably pull this off. Pull this off. 1-0 win to Charlton for this one. And then into Cambridge on later now. Cambridge beat Huddersfield 2-1. What a win that was to survive another day of not getting relegated announced. And for later on, what a turnaround that was, and what a game. 4-3 while being 3-1 down. Charlie Cowan with the assist and goal. Absolutely, you love to see it. For my fancy team, absolute W's. But I really think Cambridge may get relegated, but they will pull off a very good fight against Leighton Orient at the Abbey. But I have a feeling that Cambridge will have a good fight. Leighton Orient will probably pull it off. I think a 3-2 win to Leighton Orient for this one. But then to Mansfield take on Reading now. This could be Reading's last game before they're out of the EFL because Young hasn't sold the club. But they could delay it for a little bit. They could put overtime in Reading's. Who knows, really. But for Mansfield, what a game they had against Rotherham at the New York Stadium. 3-0. And they were 3-1 down and they made it 3-0. Absolutely beautiful for Mansfield. But it's going to be very tight. It's going to be extremely tight. I have a feeling it's going to be a fence. Really tight fence. 1-1 draw for this one. And then we march on to the Championship now. Leeds take on Stoke now. Leeds. They win. And Burnley beat Sheffield United. Leeds are back in the Premier League after a 2-year absence. Unfortunately, we've seen the news that Leicester is going back down to the Prem. Ipswich Town, sadly, may probably be down there next weekend, or be announced relegated. But Stoke City won 2 in a row, and I think they're going to be safe. I think they will be safe, but I think they will still lose. But I think the Leeds will win and probably be marching back to the Premier League. I have a feeling it'll be a 3-1 win to Leeds for this one. As then Cardiff took on Oxford now. This is a massive clash. Cardiff 23rd, Oxford are 19th. Oxford have been doing, but I think they're going to drag a little bit back into the relegation battle, quite deep. But I really think they will still survive, maybe. But Cardiff's got Aaron Ramsey because their Turkish manager is sacked. Yep, sacked. Not the one that you're thinking of, but yeah, unfortunately he's been sacked. Aaron Ramsey's covering for the final 3 games, but I really think that Cardiff might actually get something. I think Aaron Ramsey's magic will come in. 2-0 win Cardiff for this one. As in the Luton and Bristol City now, it's now or never for Luton. It is literally now or never. Bristol City, what a win it was against Sunderland at Aston Gate on Good Friday. Absolute scenes it was. But I'm hoping it'll be a very good game to watch, really. Bristol City I think Bristol City may actually have a chance of winning again. Luton will also want to try and win. So both teams won on Good Friday, but I have a feeling there'll be goals. It's going to be a 2-2 draw. It's going to be so hard to choose from who's winning. And then the Hull against Preston now. Hull. Glimpse said that was the lowest he ever felt for a Hull match all season long. And I think Hull could be a League One club by May. And yeah, I can see Hull be back down in League One for the first time since 2021. And I remember 5 years ago, Hull World Championship, they ended up going back down to League One 5 years ago. If you're wondering, I'll tell you soon. But back to the predictions. Preston after losing 2-1 to QPR on Good Friday, but it will be a very tight game to watch, really. It's going to be extremely tight. Hull and Preston. Hull will really want it more. Preston want to try keep it more just so they can secure a championship ticket for next season. So I think it'll be extremely tight. 0-0 draw for this one. As in the Plymouth taking Coventry now. That'll be a really good game to watch, really. Plymouth. It's now or never again. Same as Luton, it's now or never. Because if they lose, I think they're going to be announced on this Saturday coming. They might be announced this Saturday coming on relegation back to League One. And with Coventry beating West Brom 2-1, 6th place they are. They may soon guarantee a playoff place, but could they? Because last time we had Plymouth at Town Park, it was 2-2 it was at Plymouth. Can we see a replay of that? But it's going to be really tight, but I think Plymouth will hold Coventry for a long time until Coventry gets like an 85th minute winner. 3-2 win to Coventry for this one. But then into West Brom taking Derby now. West Brom, both teams have been quite... As West Brom lost, 4 out of the last 5 games, and Derby have been on edge. 2 points in the last 4 games. and losing 1-0 to Luton. Yeah, Derby might be back in the relegation zone anytime soon, but it's going to be so hard to choose on who's going to get anything, really, because both teams are fighting for one thing, and they reward survival and playoffs. One team, yeah. But it will be a very tight game to watch, really. I think it's going to be tight. 1-1 draw for this one, even though that West Brom will get their 19th draw of the season. Draw specialists. But we all know we saved the best to last. It's second against third. Burnley take on Sheffield United for this one. It's a 5:30 kickoff. Here's Hive. It's live on ITV and Sky Sports main event and football. And it'll be a very great game to watch. Really, last time at Turf Moor, it was on Sugar Shop's birthday, and Burnley hit 5 past Sheffield United. And last season in the Prem, the aggregate scoreline between them two was 9-1 to Burnley, and it was 19th and 20th. 19th and 20th, the bottom two, 9-1 aggregate. That's kind of, I think that's kind of unreal, really. But it's kind of insane how Sheffield United are right next to Burnley. But if Sheffield United lose, Burnley's promoted. Burnley will be promoted. Sheffield United have to go through the playoffs, and that is exactly what's going to happen here. And I really think that Burnley will win. I really think they're going to be securing back to the Prem again. It'll be a 2-0 win to Burnley for this one. Burnley are heading back to the Prem. But yeah, if you're wondering, here are just our predictions for Easter Monday right here. And if it's my predictions, then we can comment down below on what your predictions will be. And if you haven't watched this video, I have enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you guys later. Bye! And happy Easter to everyone.